Hi guys, welcome back if you have been to this channel before, or welcome if this is your first time being here. As always, thank you for taking the short moment out of your day to click on this video and listen to the story I have prepared for you guys, and this is from my own research. As I have said in previous videos, I am trying to dive deep in European countries since I believe it is cool to know about other regions of the world and their cultural legends. With that said, eventually we will work our way back to the Americas and do some research of local legends in certain areas. And I will even say that I have an idea for when we do the Americas, specifically North America, we can also include Appalachia, as I'm also interested in that kind of lore. But for now, these European countries that I have been looking up and their lore has been on my mind so much lately. So, without further ado, find your cozy hobbies that you want to be doing, or it may not be hobbies. It could be housework that you have been putting off and procrastinating on. But whatever you choose to find while listening to this video, go ahead, get comfortable, and get ready for today's story that I have prepared for you guys. So, in today's European legend / lore story, I'll be focusing on that of Chalet, Biester. And I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but nonetheless, Chalet, Biester is located in central Portugal. The concept of this house was created by Ernesto Biester, hence why it's called the Biester or Chalet Biester. So it was created by Ernesto Biester in the late 1800s. The creation of this house meant everything to him. So as one would imagine, Ernesto had put in his heart and soul into this house, ranging from the layout to the architect. He had the whole thing in mind. So he wanted the house to look the best of the best and have the best of the best people working on it. So he had sought Jose Montero, who had happened to be one of Portugal's best architects at that time. Well, unfortunately, tragedy had struck that same year that Ernesto had been planning to start building. Ernesto had passed, so without Ernesto, the house had to be put on hold as far as their concept of building. So without wanting this beautiful idea that Ernesto had planned go to waste, and nobody wanted it to be all for nothing, the house planning then fell into Frederico's hands, and Frederico was Ernesto's brother. Frederico also had a wife, and his wife helped with the layout and planning of the house as well. With the ownership of the house idea switching, also came changes with the crew who designed the house. And, this is expected as one could imagine, because one may have certain views and certain perspectives that they'd want to see the house. So everybody's idea changed because, as said, the original person, who was Ernesto, who had this complete vision of the house, had passed. So with it falling into Frederico's hands, and Frederico possibly having other imaginations and ideas, the layout and the switching of the whole house planning had changed. And, that also changed the crew as well. Between Ernesto's death and the house planning rearrangements, it had not been until the year of 1907 that this house was finally open to public. after all those years of planning and building. So let's get into the purpose of this house. The sole purpose of this house being built was just essentially, just for funsies, as what we would say. This was supposed to be a fun summer getaway house for this family, since they were extremely wealthy for this time period. And as what one would do, they would want a good vacation home, especially if you had the money. So that's in a way what this house would function as. It would function as a vacation home or summer home to this family. So, because, let's be honest, who wouldn't want that summer getaway if they had the chance that, they took the opportunity to be able to build it and continue on with Ernesto's idea. So, as hinted at previously, the occupants of this house were Ernesto's brother and his family. From doing my research, I wasn't seeing any other family up until this point occupying the house. If you look into it, as of 2022, a private family has owned the house. But up until that point, it had stayed in the Ernesto brothers' bloodlines. It is unfortunate that Ernesto did not get to live to see the success of his vision. But on the other hand, his brother was able to fulfill that vision and make it become a reality. Because when I was doing my research, not only is this house so beautiful, but it also has gardens out there that I'm sure one would absolutely love to go sit out and just view the garden and just have a peaceful day there. So, now that we have a little bit of backstory of that house, the purpose and who occupied it, let's get into what makes this house creepy or the paranormal aspect to the house. The first thing that came up when I was doing my research was that I guess it had a large amount of underground levels. I believe when I was looking, it had a total of either 7 or 8 underground levels. And with these underground levels in the house, given the large amount, of underground levels, this opened doors for rumors to be started, that of secret societies meeting here for their meetings. So that was one thing, of having secret societies meet deep within the house chambers and do occult type things there. Another idea that I had appeared in my research was the possibility that the devil had wrote one of his numerous novels in the halls of this lavish house. I believe when I was reading, the devil had a total of 3 books that he wrote, and one of those books had been conceived in Chalet, Biester. The last common accepted idea is that the Biester family had suffered from a family curse, because if you look at their curse / bloodline, you will see that it started because that their family was riddled with tuberculosis. Both Ernesto and his wife had specifically tuberculosis and died in that house, and also out of the surrounding people that they knew that had tuberculosis, only very few people in that direct family and bloodline had survived the tuberculosis outbreak. So that is what is considered the family curse of Chalet Biester. And this curse may have started because of a rumor, or it still may be a rumor, but that is what some people believe. So, I would also like to mention that locals may also sometimes refer to this house as the House of Witches. And as said, this is given the history behind it, given people holding possible secret meetings in the basement. So the name would quite fit to be called the House of Witches. So, without further ado, that is all I have for you today. I hope you guys have enjoyed the story told. And if you guys liked it, go ahead, like, and subscribe to stay informed of when I post. Thank you for your time again, and I'll see you guys in the next post. And along with that, feel free to send in some of your guys' stories that could deal with your paranormal stories, or you can send in what stories you may want to hear of local legends and the lore, or if you've traveled to any of these places that we've discussed and talked about and you want to send in your experience, you're more than welcome to do so. I would absolutely love to read those and have those eventually featured on this channel. But without that said, stay safe and stay spooky out there.